Welcome, everyone. I'm Anastasia. I'm the founder of Soulbridge, and I'm really excited to have you here with us today for a conversation with Ipek on embracing change in the age of AI. For those of you who are new to Soulbridge, we are on a mission to bring emotional and mental well-being into the workplace. And we're doing this through our AI-powered meditation app, live events, and expert-led sessions by wonderful coaches and facilitators such as Ipek. And our goal is to provide people with tools so that they can manage their stress and build resilience in this ever-changing world, and just helping them navigate life's challenges, whether they are personal or professional. So if you'd like to learn more about Soulbridge, I invite you to check out our website, where you can see how you can use the tools for your personal well-being and also for your teams at soulbridge.co. Today's topic is a really interesting one because obviously we now know that AI is here to stay. It's abundantly clear that it's here to change the way that we live, the way that we work. Today, I saw a statistic that said that over 85% of jobs in 2025 require some sort of use of AI. So it makes it very obvious that in this day, we need to be very adaptable. We need to be, resilient and on our toes to see the opportunities in this new marketplace. And that's exactly what we're going to be diving into today. I'm really honored to have Ipek join us because she is a transformational coach and an expert in change and resilience. And her work is around helping individuals to reframe the way that they see change, and they see it maybe not as a challenge, but as an opportunity for growth. And today she'll be sharing some tips on how to shift your mindset around change and shifting it from challenges to possibilities, as well as helping us to cultivate emotional resilience during these times of uncertainty. Ipek, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Anastasia.
Let's dive into it. I would love to ask you to share what has been a defining moment in your personal life that shaped the way that you see change.
Well, great question. One of the most defining moments in my life was in 2018. After more than 20 years working in the corporate world, supporting top level executives and thriving in structured environments, I had to abruptly leave that world due to circumstances that were out of my control. And at the time, it was a huge change for me. I thought it was the end of the world, like such a unbelievable, unprecedented change. And that experience left me with some kind of PTSD. At first, I tried going back to corporate world, but even going to interviews were so impossible. So I knew that that life was over for me, and I felt like I lost my identity because my job was my identity for over 20 years. And when that was taken away, I felt like there was nothing left from me, which was not true, of course. Um, and also, interestingly, that was a change that happened compared to so many others I lived before, like moving to Canada from Turkey, going through a not so great divorce, being a single parent in a country I didn't know anyone, and so on. So at the time, like many others, I saw change as uncertainty, inconvenience, something hard to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
But today, looking back, I see that event as the best thing that could have happened to me, because it shifted all the like direction of my life, and
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be here without that happening. So stepping away from the security of a corporate career into the unknown of entrepreneurship, coaching, meditation teaching was not easy. It brought up fear, and a lot of self-questioning, but it was also the beginning of me truly trusting life, trusting that change could be a sacred invitation rather than a disruption. So that
Mm.
experience taught me that the most powerful growth happens when we dare to let go of what is familiar and embrace what is possible. So it became the foundation for how I support others through their own transitions with a blend of compassion, strategy, and spiritual trust. So that was my experience with change.
I love that. I love that. I had a very similar experience myself when I transitioned from the corporate world into entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
And I love what you said about the fact that you kind of had an identity crisis, because a lot of the times people do actually link their entire identities to their roles and their jobs. And when those start to shift, it becomes very difficult to manage. So it's a really beautiful thing to realize that you're actually much bigger than that, right?
Yeah, we are much more than just one job. That's a job, you
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
So it's just one of the aspects of life. We are so much more than that.
yeah, absolutely. So what are some of the misconceptions you would say that people actually have around change?
Well, there are, of course, a few common ones that come up often. One is the belief that change is something to be feared, controlled, or, if possible, avoided. And many people assume that change will always bring discomfort, change will bring loss or chaos. But change also brings expansion, it brings clarity, brings opportunities, possibilities that we couldn't have accessed otherwise. Um, Another misconception is that we have to wait until we have all the answers or feel 100% ready before we move forward with anything that comes our way. In reality, waiting for that perfect moment can keep us stuck for years in some situations. So, clarity often comes through action, not
Mhm.
before. And
Yeah,
one more subtle yet powerful myth is the idea that change is something happening to us rather than through us. We are not passive victims of change. We are the co-creators with life. So when we start to see ourselves as active participants in our own evolution, the fear begins to get less and less. It loosens its grip on us. So
absolutely.
becoming an active co-creator rather than resisting makes it so much easier to navigate.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you completely. I relate to that point so much around feeling that you have to be 100% ready for change. And a lot of the times we feel like we have to, have all the certificates and all the experience and all the boxes ticked before we go into something. But as a matter of fact, that thought process causes more stress than actually
Mhm.
going into it and starting to do it. I saw a video today from Jeff Bezos from, back in his early days, when he was talking about that he sees stress as something that comes up when you're stuck in inaction. So
Mhm.
there's something about a situation that you're stressful about and that you're not realizing that you can actually take action against. And once you start taking those steps and you start moving in that direction, it becomes easier and the stress kind of dissipates. And by
Mhm.
moving that energy and that stress into actual solid action in the real world, you help yourself to deal with the situation, whatever that is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I so agree with that uh, because most change happens without our control. Change is in general, because as human beings, if we can, we wouldn't change anything. if possible. But it's not good for us. Change brings growth. Change brings creativity. Without change happening, we don't need to find new solutions. If the change happening is not something that we like, then looking at that change and seeing, okay, given the circumstances, what is in my control and what can I do about this?
Mm-hmm.
So it gives us, actually, it empowers us. So when we start looking at change from that perspective, and also looking at change from the perspective of everything that is happening not to me, but for me, like in addition of through me, but also for me,
Mm-hmm.
then nothing is bad. Every change is to help us make a shift on our path. We all are walking on a path, and that path is like, it's never a straight line. It always is like a road around
Mm-hmm.
a,
A
mountain
serpentine.
or something.
Yeah.
So it will be interrupted. There will be turns and shifts. So how can I be more in control and navigate change with least negative impact
Mm-hmm.
in my life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you said about seeing it as not happening to me, but for me is a huge
Mhm.
mindset shift that really it requires taking a lot of responsibility and agency for your life,
Yes.
but it's a complete game changer in how you see challenges that come up or yeah, uncertainties or stressful situations and how you deal with them.
Yeah, yeah, because there are some changes that are happening that is out of our control, and we can, no matter what we do, we cannot change what is happening. But there are always small things that we have uh, control over. So given the circumstances, what is one thing, one little thing I can
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
that gives us the possibility of being a little bit more comfortable in where
Yeah.
we stand. Next to my name on LinkedIn, it says, I put it there, change means possibility, because that's exactly it is.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's a big mindset shift. And I think, it does require some inner work for many
Hmm.
people to be able to see it that way. That's obviously why we're here today, and that's why you do what you do in helping people make that mindset shift.
Hmm.
Could you tell us about a powerful shift that you've seen someone make when they actually embraced this perspective
Mm.
around change?
Mm. Well, I can think of one of my clients. She came to me feeling really completely lost, burned out from her career, disconnected from herself, and really overwhelmed by a series of life transitions happening all at once. And at first, she wanted quick fixes, like many people do when they are in crisis. But um, you know, inner work is more than that. I convinced her that I can help you fix that problem, or I can help you change your perspective around everything that is happening
Hmm.
for you. So, so that next time you run into another problem, you will know what to do. You will know how to handle it. So because I see coaching as raising awareness of other human beings. This year, my word, every year I choose a word. This year, my word is awareness, because I see my work in this realm is raising as many people's awareness around who they are, the
Hmm.
gifts that they have within them, the potential they have, because I see every human being as an iceberg. We only see the top level of the iceberg that is over the surface of the water, of the sea, of the ocean. But there is a huge mountain underneath. So, what do you have under the surface? Let's bring that up so that you empower yourself in um, dealing with other problems that will show up in your life in the future. So, coaching is much more than fixing one problem here and there. It's changing, shifting the person as a whole. So going back to that client, at first she wanted that. She wanted like help me, tell me what to do. How can I fix this? So through our work together, she began to slow down. She learned to slow down. She learned to sit in receivership. Receivership is something that in this chaotic life we miss. Receivership is sitting and letting the universe, God, whatever you believe in, um, connect with you so
Hmm.
that you have the connection to the divine intelligence and get the answers you need that will come from within you. So she tuned in, reconnected with her intuition and values. Values are so
Hmm.
important too. So this shift wasn't just about finding a new job or changing careers. It was about finding a new way of being for her. So she moved from seeking external validation to deeply trusting herself. And she started a new business aligned with her passion. She began meditating regularly and rebuilt her life on her own terms. Um,
Amazing.
and the most powerful transformation was seeing her realize that she didn't need to wait for circumstances to change in order to feel whole. So she could choose that wholeness from within, right in the midst of the unknown. So that's why the work I do with my clients is uh, change is a part of life, it will happen.
Hmm.
Uh, it is happening more and more. So given that it is a part of life, uh, how can I be comfortable with it? And how can I see the gifts that are coming with change rather than looking and seeing all the bad things that are coming?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, that was, part of my next question. With AI now disrupting so many industries, we're seeing a lot of people getting laid off, teams are
Yeah.
shrinking. HR is freezing hiring because there's so much uncertainty around how quickly is this thing going to be developing, because we don't know what it's going to even look like in the next 3 months,
Yes.
to a year. And so, of course,
Yeah.
a lot of leaders are looking at an uncertain future. A lot of people, employees, are looking at an uncertain future. And
Hmm.
I wanted to ask you if you could kind of share your take on this. How should
Yeah.
people handle this situation?
Yeah. 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 It is difficult, of course, but and it's completely understandable that people are feeling unsettled. AI is moving really quickly, and the pace of change is quite overwhelming. But I also see this as a profound moment of awakening. Yes, roles will be redefined. Yes, some jobs will disappear. But this shift is also asking us to return to our humanity, to ask ourselves what is uniquely mine to offer rather
Mhm.
than to take. You see, what gifts do I have? And what can I do that no machine or algorithm ever could? As a human being, what are my gifts? Um, as a coach, I often help people recognize that their value is not tied to a job title or task list. It's in their creativity, empathy, intuition, leadership, adaptability. all deeply human qualities. This is a time to evolve, not panic. When we shift from fear to curiosity, we open ourselves to new ways of contributing and thriving in this changing world. You know, at the end of the day, if AI is taking away so many jobs, you know what? The governments, the countries will need to handle this. Nobody is alone in this. The more people become maybe redundant because of AI, um, the more it starts to become not only a company's or a person's individual's problem, but it's becoming a country's problem. So actually, I believe that this change will will move governments, countries in looking at workplace from a different perspective, in looking at human beings and their right to live, right to provide for themselves. So I think sometimes big changes happen, and while living through it, we don't see the gifts that come with it. But time passes, and sometimes we look back and see, oh, when I was going through this, I was thinking that's the worst thing that could have happened. And now look at this. Without that thing, that event happening, this wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be this happy right now. So, looking at change and AI from that perspective, and seeing what are my gifts, what are the gifts that I offer to the world that uh, a computer cannot offer, and focusing on that makes a huge difference.
So I take it you actually see this AI revolution as more of an opportunity than a threat to humanity.
Well, that's how I see it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's, again, it's wonderful when you can see everything that's happening in your life and around you as something that's happening for you, as opposed to you, right? Again, it's this
Mhm,
taking the co-creator role, taking the responsibility and the agency back to
mhm,
see what can I make out of the situation that I currently have? What can I take control of, right? Um,
mhm,
but for someone who has, for example, been recently laid off, right, or
mhm,
is being in the process of being laid off, what
mhm.
is something that
Yeah.
they can do right now to help
Mhm.
themselves deal with the situation and look beyond the immediate stress of the event and to see it as an opportunity?
Yeah, it is obviously it's easy for us to talk about it and say that well, you can do it, you can learn from it, but for someone who literally lost their job because of that, I can hear them saying, well, it's easy for you to say all these things, come and experience this, and then tell me
Mm.
how you feel. And I can understand that 100%. Uh, but the thing is, fear. Every emotion in the world have rooted either on fear or on love. So every negative emotion is a derivatives of fear. And what is fear? Fear, uh, the main um, impact of fear on human beings is paralyzing them, like making them feel powerless, or not able to go forward, take any step ahead. So the very first shift is moving from fear to self trust, and trust in the divine, or the universe, the God,
Mm-hmm.
because the more we stay in the fear position, the more the state of being paralyzed gonna last longer. So it's natural to feel shaken after a layoff, especially if your identity is tightly intertwined with your role or title. But one of the most empowering things we can do is separate who we are from what we do. So a job can end, but your talents, your values, your potential are still yours. They are not going anywhere. So instead of focusing on what you have lost, how about starting to ask yourself what new space has been created in my life? What dreams or ideas have I put on hold that I can now explore? You might be surprised by what's possible when you stop clinging to what was and begin leaning into what could be. And I always say, like, um, AI actually is bringing so many other options, like other areas that you might want to explore to become an expert on. So it is also, yes, it is taking away some positions, but it is also creating other positions. And also in the other positions that people are still working and not losing their jobs, they also need to befriend AI. I believe that um, people will lose jobs, especially the ones who are not resistant to learn how to use AI to their benefit from it.
Mm.
So these are the things that like seeing it as an opportunity to explore what else I can do. When I left corporate world, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, okay, without that job, who am I? And what am I going to do now? I don't know. And what I did, I just started reading, learning, and writing,
Mhm.
journaling. These are so helpful to find what are my gifts? Who am I? What do I want to create going forward in my life?
Mhm.
And I did all of that. And one day I was meditating right in the backyard. It was a summer day, warm, and I'm listening to birds and I'm meditating and I'm asking, what's next? What's next? What's next? And I heard a voice in my head all of a sudden said, be patient. I literally heard that.
Mhm.
And I was like, whoa,
Mhm.
okay,
Stop
I'm going to
demanding.
wait. Yes, I'm going to wait and be patient. And soon enough, literally, some doors opened up in front of me, and I met with some people, and that shaped my vision around becoming a coach, becoming a transformation strategist and leadership partner with companies, with organizations. So it just go deep and explore, who am I? What
Mm.
do I want? What's next for me?
I think it's really a big uh, point to take home, right? Because a lot of the times people in these situations, when they're faced with uncertainty around jobs or,
Hmm.
job loss, they start looking at
Hmm.
external factors. So they start networking, they start doing courses to upskill their existing qualifications, but very often that doesn't really lead to anything. And they
Hmm.
also neglect that aspect of connecting and reconnecting with themselves
Hmm.
while building their emotional resilience up, because when you're going through these times, obviously it's a roller coaster, and realistically some days you might feel very positive and calm and able to sit in meditation, but other days you're just overwhelmed with the fact that you're running out
Yeah.
of money and you got to feed your family and pay rent.
Yeah.
So why is it important, yeah, to make sure that you pay attention to your mental and emotional well-being during these
Mm.
times? And what are some of the tools that one can use
Yeah.
very easily in their daily lives to do this?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great question. Yes. We are all human beings. Some days we will be able to connect with ourselves, meditate. Some days we will be so feeling depressed or like down that we will not be able to do that, and it's okay too. And also, on the other hand, it's wonderful to learn new skills, wonderful to take courses, and because nothing is nothing we do is for nothing. Always, with every step we take, we learn. A human being's life is a lifelong school. We are learning and growing and getting to the next level of, like, our we are bringing our soul, our spirit to the next level with everything we do. And the emotional part of it is a piece that's often overlooked, and yet it's foundational. You can take every practical step, update your resume, learn new tools, go to every networking event. But if your internal landscape is dominated by fear, self doubt, or a sense of powerlessness, those external efforts won't land with confidence or clarity. So, emotional resilience is what helps you bounce back, not by pretending everything is fine, but by staying grounded in who you are, no matter what changes around you. And it allows you to access creativity, your intuition, your problem solving, even under pressure. That's why I always say it's not just about doing the right things, it's about being the person who can move through change with grace, presence, and strength. So, what does that mean, though? Let me explain it. Um, well, they say, like, maybe fake it till you make it. And just does it work or not? Well, it works. First, you need to shift your being, who you are being, who you want to um, show up as. From your being, your doing will shift, rather than what you do will shift your way of being. So first, you
Because
decide.
you're acting out of your old self and your old programs and your own emotions and
Exactly.
systems of beliefs. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So I work with my clients creating their I am statements, their declarations.
Hmm.
So I we create those declarations. For example, my declaration to the world, which is also on YouTube. It's a 7.5 minute video. And one of those is, um, I am divine vision connected to the spirit of all creation. I am fearless, graceful, and authentic expression of myself. I am abundance itself, and I abundantly and effortlessly receive whatever I need whenever I need it. And it goes on and on and on. So I am creating the way I am being through those words that I repeat every day, so that it determines how I show up wherever I go, whoever I connect with, whoever I work with. You
Hmm.
see?
Hmm.
So our being is the most important thing to determine our doing.
That's beautiful. I love that. I think affirmations can be very powerful to help us
Mhm,
tune into a state of being that we want to, bring forth.
mhm,
What
mhm.
are some of the other maybe simple strategies or tools that you recommend people implement into their lives that can help them?
Uh, well, it's when someone is overwhelmed, uh, I and they are not meditators, they don't know what to do. The simplest things they can start with is 3 deep and conscious breaths. It may sound too simple, but there is so much power in returning to your breath. And it signals your nervous system that you are safe. And it brings you out of your head and back into your body. Every time you bring your attention to your body, to your breathing, to or to your five senses, you are being present. So when you are present right now, right here, it means that you are not thinking about the past. So thinking about past means uh, guilt, shame, all kinds of bad memories
Regret.
or
Yeah.
regrets, or you are not thinking about future, what might happen, what might be, what is the worst case that could happen. So whenever you are present in this moment by being somatically, by like connecting with your body, you are here. Therefore, you are not thinking about the past or future, which gives your mind, your emotions a break from all those fears and thought patterns. So
So
just
mindfulness practice, yeah, as simple as you can get
exactly,
it
or
down to
just
be, yeah.
there's one thing that is very simple, like look around you and find five things that you can see around you, and look at them as if you saw this thing for the first time. Just easy way to bring your attention to the present moment.
Hmm.
This kind of stuff seems simple, but it is really impactful. If anyone who's not a meditator, they do like bring their attention to their breath for a little while, they will start feeling better. So and then maybe write down one thing you are grateful for
Hmm.
and one thing you can do today, however small, to support yourself.
Hmm.
That combination of presence and purpose can shift the entire trajectory of your day for that day. And it's
Absolutely.
the small daily choices that build emotional strength over time. You see, this is just one thing that I can share. But there are so many other small things. Like there's EFT. Like there's one other thing. Just massage your inside your wrist. Like this is an acupuncture, like acupressure spot. It really relaxes you. There are other stuff, but yeah,
Hmm.
in just 2 minutes time, these are two very simple but impactful things I can share.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, Now, I wanted to shift the topic of conversation a little bit to,
Mhm.
um, you know, um, talking about, again, this whole corporate change and the
Mm.
industries changing now with
Mhm.
AI. We spoke about the individual's responsibility to take back their role as the co-creator of their life, right? Um, but in this shift now, do you feel like companies also have a responsibility to make a transition into this new AI world that allows the individuals to adapt to it more easily?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not like, okay, you are redundant now. Bye bye. It doesn't work. Of course, I believe it's both. Companies absolutely have a responsibility, not just from a moral perspective, but from a long term success standpoint. Investing in reskilling, mental health support, creating a culture of adaptability, all these helps everyone thrive, not only the company. It's
Hmm.
not just about technology adoption, it's about people transformation. You know what? In companies, they have that lay off so many people because of AI. Um, there are also people who stay behind and stay with the company. Even those people need support with mental health because it is so scary seeing your coworkers have to leave, which means that could happen tomorrow to me too. So nobody can
Absolutely.
guarantee that their job is forever. So
Yeah.
not only companies are responsible in um, providing some things to the people they are letting go, but also people they are keeping, so that they can also go through this uncertainty and difficult time, and the company can survive this. And also, uh, every company has a image in the consumer's mind, um, a brand, an image. Every step they take, everything they do with their current companies is a message to their future employees and to the public.
And the consumers, of
So,
course. Yeah.
they need to be very like mindful of.
Proactive. Yeah.
Yes,
Mindful and
exactly.
proactive.
And at the same time, individuals have power too. The more we embrace lifelong learning, personal development,
Hmm.
professional development, emotional growth, the more prepared we are to lead ourselves through change. When companies and individuals work together in partnership, that's where we see real progress, not just in output, but in well being and fulfillment of the people that form that company and the company itself as a whole. So, I work with companies, teams, like I do one-on-one executive and leader coaching, team and organizational development programs. And I see companies that are investing on this, investing on their people, uh, navigate every kind of change or problem so much better than other companies. So, yes, AI is a part of our lives and it is a reality in our lives. Companies that manage uh, their people uh, and see them as human beings always come through the other side stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I wanted to open the floor up to some questions from the audience. Do we have any
Sure.
questions? You guys can drop it into the chat, or you can just turn on your mic and speak directly.
I guess, hi there. My name's Emma.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Emma.
I guess one of my challenges, and it's always a challenge, isn't it, really, is to ask how we get our leaders to think differently about this whole topic, right? Because change does come from the top. And I find it really hard to make changes. I've tried it from the middle up, from the bottom up, but getting the leaders to think differently is a real challenge. I don't know if that's something that you've found an answer for yet, but it's the topic that always comes up, right? Because we've got to make this transition to a better world, and everything you're saying, I 100% get and agree with. But yeah, how do we drive that change?
Well, it's a great question. And yes, change needs to happen from top down,
Yeah,
rather like because change that comes from bottom up is always comes in a way of revolution,
yeah,
like with force,
yeah,
and we don't want that. Of course, we want change to. We want to open the eyes of the people who are sitting at the top to
yeah,
see and understand this and
yeah,
see workplace more than a source of income, money, revenue,
yeah,
and people like the ones who are creating that. Uh, Rather than that, seeing them as human beings who have other responsibilities, their families, their
yeah,
selves.
yeah.
How can we do that? Is We need to convince them somehow. We need to get to them. somehow.
Yeah.
So, given that it is the circumstance, so the problem is, how can we get to the top level people and show them, help them understand
Yeah.
what is happening, um, coming together and getting creative. How can we get their attention? You see,
Mm.
um, I believe it is like you as an individual, maybe you cannot get to that person,
Yeah.
but maybe if you and some other people who are also agreeing with you come together and do some brainstorming, how can we get their attention? How can we get to them? How can we help them see what is happening, what we are going through? Um, human beings are so creative, Emma. We find solutions when we have really good motivations to find a solution.
Yeah.
Therefore, um, it is our job to bring more people in, get more people's buy-in, so that um, do some brainstormings, find solutions, find ideas, come up with ideas to get to those people at the top, to get their attention, to help them understand. I don't know if it's helpful, but it is hard to do things by yourself. But if you come together as a team and everyone comes with ideas, um, there will come up some
Yeah.
reaching to that leader will be different than
Yeah.
another leader.
Yeah.
And people who are working with that person and who can reach to that person can come together and come up with ideas. I hope this helps.
Thank you.
I'd also like
Because
to add to that. I
every human
think
being has a um, soft spot. What is that leader's soft spot? How can you reach to that person, and what would be that soft spot they might have?
Yeah.
exactly. It's about connecting with the leaders and understanding what is it that they're motivated by, what is it that's important to them, and how do we speak in their language to help them see the situation as, really benefiting them if they go ahead and they make these transitions and they implement these changes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anastasia, you brought something up. Always go to any problem with a solution. Never go just with the problem. Always have a solution for the problem and idea how to solve it. So when you go to anyone with a problem and ask them to solve it, it is more difficult. But when you go to someone with a problem, but you also have one or two solution ideas, it makes it so much more easier for them to pay attention and listen. And it is also more likely to get their buy-in.
Thank you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for the
that.
question, Emma. It was a beautiful question. I hope my answer is like helpful, um, because
Yeah.
every leader is different.
I think like you're right, every leader is different, and I don't think there's a one size fits all answer. It's very dependent on the
Mhm.
environment, on the culture. Um,
Absolutely. Values, the company
uh,
values. Yes.
right,
For
values is
example, values, you can use values.
absolutely.
Like our company values are this. The actions that our company taking, are they aligned with our core values?
Yeah, yeah.
You see?
I think now is actually a good time to catapult that change with the sort of polarization in the world. And I think
Yeah.
sort of the fear piece is really powerful. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's been really interesting. Thank you so much for your time, and Anastasia as well.
You
Thank
are most
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. And Ipek, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your insights with us today. You know, I would
Thank
love
you.
to encourage everybody who was on the call to take one insight that they gleaned from the discussion and to share it with your network. Because when we share our takeaways and the insights that we get, we actually magnify the positive effect of transformation, of our own personal transformation, and igniting it in others. And
Yes.
we briefly touched upon the solution piece, right? How we can bring solutions to our leaders. So I wanted to highlight that, you know, at Soulbridge, we really are committed to helping teams and leaders go through this transition, right? Through these times of change so that they can build emotional resilience, they can build that capacity to see opportunities. So if this is something that you're looking at into implementing into your company, please do reach out. We would love to set up sessions with Ipek for your teams. We also have other facilitators who are focusing on other modalities who can come in and help with that. So definitely check out the website, check out our solutions for the business, and get in touch with us if you're interested to get a tailored corporate package for your teams. We'll be hosting more live sessions like this. So please do stay connected with us. Follow Soulbridge on LinkedIn, follow Ipek for insights, and myself. And, you know, we also invite you to try out the Soulbridge app. Ipek has her meditations on there, so they're guided meditations. We touched upon those briefly. And that can be a really powerful tool as well in handling kind of everyday stress and emotions that may be sort of getting in the way. I thank you again all so much. Ipek, did you want to say something as we wrap up?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity, Anastasia. It was a lovely session. I loved the questions you asked. And also, I want to mention my friend. I see her name, Susan, is here. Susan Miller joined us. And thank you so much to her for being here with us. It means so much to me. And thank you so much for everyone who joined today. I hope what I shared was helpful. And I hope to be connected. Please connect with me on, as Anastasia said, on LinkedIn. Find us at soulbridge.co, and let's be in touch.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day.